What if I told you there's a simple secret to getting people to like you, to agree with you, and even to actually want to help you? Well, it's not magic. It's all about psychology. And today, we're going to unlock the core principles from Dale Carnegie's legendary book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And look, this isn't just about being nice. It's about a fundamental shift in how you see the world. Okay, let's dive right in. To really get the sheer power of what we're talking about, just look at this quote. This is from John D. Rockefeller, one of the wealthiest people in all of history. He didn't say he'd pay the most for a brilliant engineer or some financial wizard. Nope. He said he'd pay the most for someone who could simply deal with people. That's it. That's the billion-dollar skill we're decoding today.
So, if this skill is so incredibly valuable, why do so many of us struggle with it? Well, Dale Carnegie believed it's because we're all kind of wired with this fundamental blind spot in how we see human nature. We're fighting an instinct that feels so right, but is almost always completely wrong. Let's dig into what that is.
To expose this blind spot, Carnegie starts with a truly fascinating question. I want you to forget about your coworkers or your family for just a second. Instead, think about the most infamous criminals, people who've done just terrible things. When they look in the mirror, what do they really honestly think of themselves?
The answer is genuinely shocking, and it's the first huge aha moment in the book. They almost never blame themselves. Al Capone, a ruthless gangster, truly believed he was a public servant, just giving the people what they wanted. And Two Gun Crowley, a cop killer, wrote this letter from death row, seeing himself as a victim, a kind soul just pushed too far. The takeaway is this: 99 times out of 100, a person, even a criminal, will not criticize themselves no matter how wrong they may be.
And this brilliantly illustrates Carnegie's very first principle. I mean, if even hardened criminals rationalize everything they do, what hope do you have of changing an employee or a client by criticizing them? It just doesn't work. It's like trying to fight a fire with gasoline. All it does is breed resentment and make them double down on their own justifications.
Okay, so if criticism is a total dead end, how do you actually influence people? Well, Carnegie reveals a simple but incredibly powerful two-part engine for changing minds. This is the real secret to getting people to want to do what you'd like them to do without any force or resentment. So this engine starts by tapping into something really fundamental. Think about it for a second. It's not food or sleep or even money. What is the one craving that once you satisfy it is responsible for our greatest art, our tallest buildings, and our deepest loyalties?
It's the desire to feel important, the desire for appreciation. This is what drove Dickens to write his novels and Rockefeller to build mansions he never even used. It's what drives us to wear the latest styles and talk about our brilliant children. It is the deepest, most persistent urge we have as human beings.
Now, what's really interesting here is the story behind this quote. Andrew Carnegie paid Charles Schwab over $1 million a year, which was an absolutely astronomical sum back then, not because Schwab knew the most about steel, but because he was a genius at appreciating and encouraging his people. Schwab understood that approval isn't just nice, it's the rocket fuel that powers human effort. So here's the engine. It's 2 steps. Step 1, tap into that deep human urge by giving honest, sincere appreciation. And I'm not talking about cheap flattery, which people see right through, but genuine recognition. And then step 2, connect what you want with what they want.
Carnegie explains the second step with this perfect analogy. When you go fishing, right, you don't bait the hook with strawberries and cream because that's what you love. You use worms because that's what the fish wants. So the crucial point is this: the only way to influence other people is to stop thinking about what you want and start talking in terms of what they want and then showing them how to get it.
All right, now that we understand the big principles, let's get practical. How do you actually apply this stuff? Here are 3 simple but incredibly powerful actions you can start using the moment this explainer is over to put these ideas into practice.
It honestly doesn't get much simpler than this, does it? But don't let that simplicity fool you. Each of these is a master key to unlocking goodwill, and they work because they are direct, tangible ways of making another person feel important. Think about the last time someone you just met remembered and used your name. It feels good, right? Of course it does. That's because your name is the anchor of your identity. So when someone makes that little bit of effort to remember it, they're sending a powerful, unspoken message. You matter to me. You are an individual worth remembering. It's a tiny, tiny effort with a massive impact. If you doubt just how much a name means to us, get this. The great showman, P.T. Barnum, was so disappointed that he had no sons to carry on his name, he offered his grandson $25,000, a fortune at the time, just to call himself Barnum Seeley.
That's how deep the personal value we place on our own names runs.
Next up, listening. So many of us go through conversations just waiting for our turn to talk, to share our story, to prove how interesting we are. But the secret is to flip that script completely. Carnegie found you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming genuinely interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get them interested in you. Giving someone your exclusive, rapt attention is one of the highest compliments we can pay. It says what you have to say is important to me.
And finally, the simplest tool of all, the smile. A genuine smile costs nothing, but it creates so much. It doesn't ask for anything in return. It's like a messenger of goodwill that instantly says, I like you. You make me happy. I am glad to see you. That same Charles Schwab we talked about, he claimed his own smile was worth $1 million. It's a tool we all have, and it's universally understood.
So what does all this add up to? Well, Carnegie's ultimate point is that by shifting our focus from ourselves to others, from criticism to appreciation, from talking to listening, we don't just influence them. We actually unlock our own hidden potential. The famous Harvard psychologist William James believed that most of us are only using a fraction of our true capabilities. We all possess these deep reserves of potential that we just rarely tap into. Carnegie's principles, well, they're the keys to unlocking those dormant powers, the power to build relationships, to inspire action, and to create a life rich with cooperation and friendship.
So remember, these aren't just clever tricks. They are fundamental tools for navigating the human world far more effectively and happily. The only question left is, what will you build with them?